The MMA world is in chaos as reports surface that Dana White has finally snapped after both Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall started exposing what's really going on behind the scenes in the UFC. For years, fans have accused Dana of blatant favoritism, standing by Jon Jones through every scandal imaginable, failed drug tests, arrests, and endless controversies. No matter what, Dana defended him. But now, that loyalty seems to have reached its breaking point. In a shocking turn, Dana White has publicly turned on Jones, admitting that he no longer trusts him enough to headline what's being billed as the biggest event in UFC history, the highly anticipated White House card. Imagine that. The American GOAT fighting on American soil, and Dana himself refusing to let it happen.
Well, it's not even about him winning the belt. I mean, I felt about him. I can't risk putting him in big positions in a big spot and have something go wrong.
Fair enough.
Yeah, especially the White House card.
There's a lot of rumors out there. Let's just spell a couple of them. First and foremost, are you retired?
I am not retired. I'm actively training 5 days a week, and I'm in the UFC's drug testing pool.
Great. And what's the status of the fight at the White House?
I don't really know. It's kind of out of my control right now. I'm training for the event. I'll be ready for the event. That's my goal. That's my intention. But ultimately, it's up to the boss.
Something doesn't quite add up. According to Jon Jones himself, all of this stems from information Dana White never wanted the public to know. Jones revealed that he had already told Dana months ago that he had no plans to fight Tom Aspinall and intended to vacate the't. But the UFC decided to keep that detail hidden.
I mean, I just feel like anybody would understand at this point. Like, I'll retire the heavyweight belt if I have to. It's like, dude, give the guy what he wants at the end of the day, And I'm not talking to Dana directly. I feel like I'm at a place now where, I want to take what I find these super fights. I don't want to fight dangerous up-and-comers anymore. I want to fight dangerous, established champions. So Tom can have the heavyweight championship. I don't really care about it. That my body doesn't lie in belts anymore. I've created something much bigger.
But there is this thing that's always followed your career where, even before you got in the UFC, you couldn't seem to get fights, right? People didn't want to fight you. And then now, even as champion, you have Jon Jones and Alex trying to fight each other but not fight you. Did you ever think there'd be a moment where you could be in this position and still have guys trying to sort of circumnavigate you and fight other people?
No, there's still guys. There's still guys who want it. Maybe just not the bigger names. Those guys have done enough to do whatever they want. So I'm the champion, fight the number one contender. That's how, in my opinion, that's how champions are supposed to work. It's like, you're the guy, you fight the next guy, prove you're the best, and you rinse and repeat that for as long as possible.
They kept fans, media, and even Tom himself in the dark, all to keep the hype alive. But when the truth finally surfaced, Dana completely lost it. And that wasn't the only reason for his anger. A big part of Dana's frustration also comes from Tom Aspinall's honesty, something he clearly doesn't like. Tom openly admitted that if his close friend Ante ever climbed high enough in the heavyweight rankings to face him, he'd rather vacate the title and let his friend have his shot.
Firstly, what do you think about that?
My friend and training partner has just got to the UFC, so he's potentially 2 or 3 wins away from a title shot. So the thing is, if I'd never won a title, I'd never touched gold before, we would have to fight. But now I've done it, I would be like, I'll vacate it and he can have his time.
You know what I think about that before you even ask me. I hate that, many friends, relatives, name it, have all fought each other before. It doesn't determine whether you are friends with somebody or you hate somebody. You're competing against them to see who the best is, but that's his decision, to even think about vacating it because you don't want to compete against somebody is absolutely insane, but he's a grown man. That's up to him.
Because again, it was such a good fight. It was such an entertaining fight. And you see now people saying all this kinds of, craziness, all kinds of craziness regarding Tom wanting out, Tom getting beat up, Tom, being a coward, being heartless, gutless, and just forgetting about everything this guy's done. By the way, this guy took a fight on 10 days notice, 14 days notice against Sergey Pavlovich, saved your ass at Madison Square Garden. Literally saved the card. And now we know what this is all about. His dad talks about wanting to take a fight. fight out the contract, 3 left, let's go to boxing. And he says in an interview, Tom does, I wouldn't fight Anti-Delia. I'd rather vacate. That's my friend. That's my teammate. Oh my God. Literally the two things that would piss Dana White off more than anything. And so most predictable thing is that he would show up at the press conference not backing his guy at all. Not backing his guy at all. I mean, you had to know that this was going to happen. Forget the fact that he took the fight against Pavlovich on 10 days notice. Forget the fact that he was the backup fighter against, when John fought Stipe last November. Forget the fact that he, was ready and willing to fight Jon Jones at any moment this year. That he was a good soldier, that he never threw the UFC under the bus, that he never complained openly, that he was just doing all the right things, saying all the right things. Forget all of that. Oh no, he won't fight his teammate. And his dad says in a sort of off-the-cuff comment, I don't even know if that was an interview or not, he says, yeah, I want him to fight out the contract and then go to boxing. Ah, the horror. The audacity. The chutzpah. And so, like I said, the UFC is going to be able to rebook this fight. It's going to be huge.
It was one of the most genuine and humble statements a fighter could ever make, and Dana White absolutely hated it. During a recent interview, Dana flat out said, I hate that idea. No respect, no appreciation, and no acknowledgement of Tom being the current heavyweight champion. Then, at the UFC 321 post-fight press conference, Dana's attitude went even further. When reporters asked him about Tom's brutal eye poke injury, he brushed it off completely, instead choosing to praise Cyril Gane's performance, saying Gane looked incredible and left Aspinall blooded. Not a single mention of the deep double eye poke, the hospital trip, or the fact that Tom could barely see for days afterward. Even Andy Aspinall, Tom's father, later confirmed his son's eye was still grey and healing slowly.
It was really bad how it looks. And he said, you can't train your eyeball to be stronger. It is what it is. There's protection here and here, but he obviously got no protection because the fingers were straight in. The fight should have been stopped. He couldn't see. It was a foul. He couldn't see. Then you can't fight. If he'd have got knocked out with a head kick next, then it would have been worse. I don't know. And then he said, sometimes when your eyes here like that, it can become displaced and stay there. And they did a few tests on that, and they said it doesn't seem like that. And his vision on the eye that's the best eye.
And laid there on his back until John submitted him. Against the cage, Gane was sat there, not moving, not bucking, not shifting or fighting hands, sitting there like this until John locked up the guillotine on him. I'm very aware of what happened in that fight. And do I wish Tom would have finished him earlier? I do, without resistance. That was the ideal circumstance for Tom Aspinall, was to finish Cyril Gane with no resistance in the first round. I think we see an overconfident Gane in the rematch, and I think Tom smokes him, but Tom was raging. So there's
Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall have finally pulled back the curtain on the truth, exposing a system fueled by favoritism, control, and a lack of respect for its own fighters. Dana White's temper has reached its boiling point, and for the first time, the cracks in the UFC empire are starting to show.